Raider Fan Radio, folks. How are y'all doing? Good to see you all on a Tuesday night.
This is very stoner hippie vibe right now.
We sliding into the groove.
Laid back.
Sliding into the groove. Hope y'all are in the groove, in a good mood, wherever you are, particularly if you're in Louisiana and down in the southern Gulf Coast.
We have viewers in Louisiana?
Yeah,
we've got viewers in Austria. We've got viewers in Texas, Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
We're all over the place at RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, and we love that you're back with us again.
Swiss Raider fans.
Number what?
What?
I'll tell you what number it is. Show number 25! Woo! Quarter of a century, man. We made it this far.
That's what's up.
They said it wouldn't last, but here we are. Show number 25. Yeah, and as I always do every week, Raider Rob and beautiful Black Hole Stef. And I love that the viewers always refer to you as the beautiful Black Hole Stef.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that, right?
Yeah,
that's your mom.
And Rob, I believe you coined the name, correct?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
He is the creator of the beautiful Black Hole Stef.
Manifesto.
But her mom and dad, they created
Manifesto.
the beautiful Black Hole Stef.
LSG.
So, show number 25. Raider Rob, I know you're just going to jump all over this and hit me right in the head. Who is the great number 25?
I'll give it to you since you're
Raiders.
starting to look a bit like him without the long hair.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know,
we
do the honors.
We're starting to look like our early young, our 70s Raiders getting a little bit older. And yes, we are some of those 70s Raiders that are getting a little
First
bit
generation,
older.
Yeah, we are.
The number 25 is Fred Belitnikov, Freddie B.
baby.
Famer.
What is it? Yes.
One of the greatest receivers ever, of course, the man that popularized Stickum, which eventually got outlawed many years later because of another Raider, Lester Hayes, was one of the original just crafty slot receivers. The AFL's version of the great Raymond Berry, a lot of you, if you know your football history, was a great receiver with the Baltimore Colts for many years. Fred had moves, ran great routes.
Yes.
Wasn't the fastest jalopy in the junkyard, but he could get open. And it wasn't so much the benefit of the Stickum. A lot was made of that. What made Fred great was that he had great positioning. He always was where the ball was going to be caught by him.
A route runner to the extreme.
And like I said, positioned himself that when Stabler, LaMonica, no matter who it was that threw to him,
he got open.
He got open, and he was always positioned where the ball was going to hit his hands or hit him in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
He just could position, even if he slid. Even if he slid, he just was that was the way he positioned himself.
Yeah.
You know, that you as a defender weren't going to get, over him or under him. So anyway, yes, Fred Belitnikov is the great.
When I think of Fred Belitnikov, when you look at him, the old saying when it comes to football, especially when they go to the combines, does he pass the eye test? And Fred Belitnikov, if you look at him, compared to most of the receivers, even in the history of football, he's not one of those guys who looks like, I don't know, a Terrell Owens.
No.
Or Randy Moss.
No.
Or even Jerry Rice. He just looks like Fred Belitnikov. And he's so great. Of course, they got the great name award, Fred Belitnikov Award, that young receivers are honored to receive every year out of college. So, he is one of the great receivers.
And of course, when we talk about Fred Belitnikov, we all from the Raider Nation in Oakland always have to give our remembrances to Tracy Belitnikov, his daughter,
and now the Tracy Belitnikov Foundation.
I've dollared up for Tracy many times for over 20 years, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I remember his wife Angela, right? Angela? Mm-hmm. Out in the parking lot at the games. One of the saddest things in the world, and that's something you're all going to have to go and do your research and do your homework and learn about Tracy Belitnikov and the Belitnikov Foundation.
Right.
There's a lot there. It's a very tragic story, which even adds just more to the whole legend behind Fred Biletnikoff and just what his whole story means to the grand scheme of things in the big picture. But I always think of Fred Biletnikoff on the sideline smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he doesn't pass the eye test.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline smoking a cigarette, and then he goes out there and he catches a touchdown pass and goes into the Hall of Fame and wins the Super Bowl. So,
Thomas Hollywood Henderson, as I've said before on this show, in his great book, Out of Control, talks about snorting cocaine in Super Bowl 13.
Damn.
So eventually one day, soon, somebody's going to be on the sideline smoking a J.
oh yeah.
Like Ricky
It'll be
Williams
me.
pantomime.
I won't be on the team or the field, but I'll be on the sideline smoking a J.
There's also, who else we got? 25.
I'm gonna say Charlie Garner.
Charlie Garner would be my number 2.
Yeah, that's who else has rocked that number other than Freddie B in that kind of illustrious way, and I would say
Illustrious.
Charlie Garner.
Illustrious.
Great hands.
I like the part that says lust. Illustrious.
Great hands and speed, and a nice compliment to Tyrone Wheatley at the time, Zach Crockett.
Right.
We had a power running game scheme, and we had great receivers at the time. So that was our championship team at the beginning of this, not this decade, but 20 years back.
2000, beginning of the
Crockett, Garner, Wheatley.
The committee.
Wow.
Justin
dude.
Fargas.
I remember those days very well, and being in the stands, seeing them in
Zach Crockett.
I formation. When you saw all those players on the field in I formation, knowing any one of those dudes was going to get the ball.
That's right.
And they usually did something with it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are days we certainly miss. Speaking of running the ball, I'll throw one more.
One more 25. Oh, go ahead.
I got one more 25 as an honorable mention because we just love the dude, and that would be our boy Justin Fargas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Huggy Jr.
Yes.
Justin Fargas was not a great running back, but he put his body on the line
Yeah,
as
he had his heart in
hardcore
it.
as
He was
anybody I've
dependable.
seen.
He was dependable.
Right.
And he could get short yardage for us. You could hit him out the backfield.
And he improved every year.
Yeah.
Like he became went up the
And we love his daddy. Let's stop with the bullshit. Okay, he's Antonio Fargas's son.
Huggy Bear.
And so he got
The pimp.
love, for that.
Yeah.
He wasn't a pimp. He was a hustler.
Oh, you mean the dad, Antonio Fargas?
Oh, you're talking about I'm gonna get you sucker when
yeah. He won. Hey, wait.
I thought you were talking about Starsky and Hutch.
He won Pimp of the Year in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
He had the platform
Right.
bears with the goldfish
Right.
in it.
And the shit cracked.
Don't tell me Huggy Bear ain't a pimp.
No.
Well, in Starsky and Hutch, he wasn't a pimp.
Right.
He was a hustler, and
No.
He worked his way up
and
into becoming
and a CI. He was a CI.
And some of
Okay.
the great movies with Pam Grier.
Oh yes, Foxy Brown.
Foxy
yeah.
Brown, and he played her
brother.
brother. But yeah, we have some great sideline photos with Huggy Bear on the sideline from Raider Fan Radio. So he was definitely a fan of Raider Fan Radio, as well as Justin Fargas was. And those are some great number 25s, but Freddie B eclipses
Freddie B
them
is
all.
Of course.
Number one.
Well, I gotta give a shout out to my boy because I knew him, and I know some of his folks still who are in Oakland. Dan Oakland. He was a
Alright.
cornerback for us
Oakland.
that came up from L.A.
This another 25?
He won on 25 for us back in
We're going
the
plumb local with the
mid-90s.
25s.
Yeah, Dan Land.
Dan Lane. You remember Dan
I
Lane?
do remember Dan Land.
Yeah.
I don't remember
him
Dan
out there with
Land.
Lionel Washington and what you call it? Terry McDaniel.
Those are the early when they first came back.
Those are the motherfuckers that used to get burnt. They used to get toasted. Lionel Washington and Terry McDaniel collectively, both of their nicknames was tough.
Playoffs? Don't talk about
James
playoffs.
Trapp running around
You
out
kidding me?
there, out of
Trapp,
position.
baby.
We had an interesting,
I like James Trapp.
very sorry defensive backfield back then, and Dan Land was one of those people. But anyway, God bless everybody. Number 25. We'll see you in 26. Get them ready, okay, for the next show. And it's just great to be here with everybody. And yeah, man.
Now, out of the
what's
game,
up.
we got a lot of football coming up, of course, at the beginning of the season, the home opener, Monday Night Football. But we are going to start tonight's show because we do a lot of rock talk here at Raiders Fan Radio. We're all musicians. We play music, and we're aficionados, and we're also just lovers of the craft of music. And one of the great musicians that's been known now for so many years, the drummer for the Rolling Stones, who are arguably the greatest rock band of all time. There was always the argument of who is better, the Beatles or the Stones.
Right.
I'm a Beatles guy, but I love the Stones too. So I don't like to choose between the two. But the point being, the Rolling Stones.
How does everybody always leave Led Zeppelin out of that conversation?
You're right.
Yeah, that's
Some people
true.
do. A lot of people
The
do.
Beatles are gone, particularly where it counted
Correct.
when it comes to touring. By the time touring became a big thing in the early 70s, and both Led Zeppelin and the Stones helped pioneer the big stadium show
Totally.
thing.
Yeah.
The Beatles are gone. So that Shea Stadium concert don't fucking count for all the wet panties that there were. It doesn't stand
Wet
up.
panties does count for a lot, though.
You know, I think Led Zeppelin has to be thrown
There
in
were a
there.
lot of wet panties for Led Zeppelin too.
Floyd, anyone?
Well, they're not the world's greatest. That's the world's greatest rock band.
I mean, you gotta put them in the mix too. I mean,
Well, okay. Bottom line with the Stones, though, they
Yeah.
lasted regardless of who wants to argue who's the best or the greatest.
True.
The Rolling Stones have been a band.
Oh, yes.
Since the early '60s up until still now with their tour
No
this
Filter
year,
tour, the No
and they're going to
Filter
be
tour.
playing over there at the Death Star here in Las Vegas. So rededicate DEADICATED dedicated
T-I-O-N.
dedicated to the great Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones.
80 years old, died in London last week. Had just announced about a month ago that he had a major medical procedure, and had announced that he wouldn't be joining the upcoming tour, which is going to be landing here in Las Vegas.
I didn't know that. It was already announced that he wasn't going to be
Yeah.
playing. Wow. Think
so-
about that. Think about that. You're Charlie Watts. You're 80 years old. You've been playing
Yeah.
drums for the Rolling Stones. Arguably, you're the greatest rock band of all time, longest lasting. And you finally come to that day and that moment in your life where you can't go out and do
Right.
it anymore. That's just the hardest thing for any individual, for any career, but certainly for Charlie Watts.
He was the backbone of the Rolling Stones. I had the pleasure and been blessed to have seen them live a few times over the years.
What's the first time you saw the Stones? Did you ever see them at the
81.
Coliseum?
81 Tattoo You.
That's the one.
Candlestick Park.
That's the best, greatest Rolling Stones tour.
Wow.
Probably of all time. I mean, the earlier ones in the 70s were obviously great, but that Tattoo You album was just like that was the MTV generation.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we talked about ZZ Top last week.
Right.
They got, even though they were the older band at the time, they got in on it right when the videos came
yeah.
out, and it helped sell the
Emotional
album.
Rescue, great video.
And it's a great, awesome album, Tattoo You.
Yeah.
Tattoo You. But the thing that attracted me to Charlie Watts was one, he was very much into jazz drummers and some of the great ones like Max Roach and Art Blakey and Gene Krupa and what have you. But also, Charlie, from album covers all the way back to their early 60s stuff, all the way through live, pictures, books, all that stuff, he always had the same expression.
I know.
And his expression was like, I just hang out with these guys.
Yeah.
Like, he was a Rolling Stone, and he's the backbone of the Stones, of course.
He's
And-
the opposite of Keith Richards and Mick Jagger.
Yeah!
He wasn't flamboyant. He wasn't a partying rock star that went out and got attention all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't
very
into
quiet,
that.
very silent
Very
in the
cool.
background.
Right.
Cool
That
is the
cool
word.
You know, that's what's up.
And that's how he played.
Yeah.
He played like that.
Cool.
He played cool.
Cool.
Now, from a drummer's perspective,
Right. Yeah.
I've been playing my whole life, and I've certainly played a lot of Rolling Stones music
Yeah.
in my day. The discussion between most drummers in the drummer community, when you
Yeah.
talk about great drummers, you automatically come up with names like Buddy Rich,
Yes.
Neil Peart,
Yes, Neil Peart.
many of the, like the flamboyant rock star, technicians as far as drummers go. Keith Moon, they
Right.
were bombastic. Charlie Watts was the opposite of all those
Right.
things. So they would always argue.
Yet prominent.
They would
Yeah.
always argue that
You know,
Charlie
very-
Watts
very-
wasn't a great drummer because he didn't have
Who?
the chops.
Who?
These people.
Who?
These people out there.
These people.
Yeah,
If you ever
Mr.
talk shit
Watts.
on Charlie Watts, saying
Get
he's
your
not a great
motherfucking
drummer.
ass drugged down a Sussex alley. Okay? I'm not in Sussex, so I won't be dragging you down the alley. But if I ever catch you out there. He was from London. He was from the section where Wembley Stadium is. He grew up in the shadows of old Wembley Stadium. He was a true Londoner. Loved his fish and chips.
A true Londoner?
Always Natalie
Londoner.
dressed. And, of course, the great story, one of the great Charlie Watts stories is the time that they were somewhere. in a hotel late at night coming from a show, and Mick was up late talking shit up in his room, and he started talking about, where's my drummer? And he rang down to Charlie's room and said, where's my drummer? And Mick was drunk. I didn't see my drummer. And this is how cool, in the essence of Charlie Watts, of his old persona and character. Charlie Watts got dressed up in a $5,000 suit, put on his laced up motherfucking shit kickers, natted his tie, did his hair, the same way you see him in a lot of promotional pictures, went upstairs. Mick Jagger answered the door. Charlie Watts promptly punched him in the mouth and said, I'm not your drummer.
Punched him.
I'm not your drummer. You're my singer. And went back downstairs.
That's right. You know what? And that's the kind of attitude.
One of the greatest rock stories ever.
As a drummer, you learn from that. Because I gotta tell you right now, and as drummers, they try to put you in your place. They're not even a musician if you're a drummer. But anyway, so when it comes to Charlie Watts, I guess my final thoughts on Charlie Watts, as far as his greatness, you don't, just like Ringo Starr, you don't, or whoever is in a great band, you don't be in a great band unless you're great and you add something great to that element for that many years, number one. And the fact of the matter is, learning his music and his drumming, it is very laid back, it's very in the pocket, and it drives Keith Richards. You know, and he played as cool as he was. And it's very tragic, obviously, to see him go. I didn't expect it. You think these guys are going to live forever sometime.
You do.
Oh, wow. Other than Brian Jones, he's the first long-lasting Rolling Stones member that died.
Yeah.
So, sad to see you go, Charlie, but we will remember you here at RaiderFanRadio.Vegas and, of course, on YouTube the rest of our lives. And we'll be playing plenty of Stones music for the rest of the time that we're here.
Condolences to Shirley Watts and the Watts family over in London. But yeah, the great Charlie Watts. Also want to say, you know I talk on this show a lot about the behind the scenes stuff, and we've been privy to give you guys a lot of info talking about the Raiders' return to Oakland in '95 and our involvement and some of the people involved and the legend and stories and fables.
The origin of the Raider Nation and the Black Hole.
The fables of the South Shield, of the Raider Nation, of the Wiz Zone, and of course the mighty Black Hole. And just want to say here that we have a situation that we want to make you all abreast of. And I want to preface this by saying that, no matter what I have said on this show about Black Hole Rob Rivera and some of the revelations about some of the personal stuff that has gone on with the fan base, I'm a friend of Rob Rivera's. We are friends. I love him. And unfortunately right now, Rob is in a pretty critical situation, hospitalized in the Bay Area with some symptoms of, I think, COVID, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was diagnosed with COVID. Actually, the whole family had it. And the rest of the family is fine. His daughters, his wife.
Rachel.
But he is in ICU at this point. And the last I talked to Junebug of the Black Hole and a Black Hole Mama, she told me that he was doing better. He was actually on oxygen, so no ventilator. I'm very concerned about the ventilator situation and just concerned in general for people to have to go into the hospital right now. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Of course, nobody wants anything bad to happen to anyone that we're close to.
No.
And we're family, so we
there's
disagree,
no animosity between me and Rob.
Want him to get better.
In a personal way. It's business, and it's just, just some things we didn't agree on. But Rob's a great friend of mine. I had a very challenging time and a hit to my reputation in the late 90s that, affected me. And Rob stood by me. He stood by me and supported me greatly, as well as some other members of the Black Hole, including Black Hole Stef. But Rob, we wish you well. We are praying for you, and I ask all of you out there to send some prayers up in the name of Rob Rivera, and we're looking forward to you getting well, man.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see you when you get out of the hospital, Black Hole Rob. And of course, we'll see you here in Las Vegas when you make it out to your first home game for the Raiders return. It's going to be sad if you're not here with us for this one around, but we know there's going to be many down the road for sure, because we know that the Black Hole is very well represented here in Las Vegas.
Sure are.
You know, there's something, announcement we want to talk about that's kind of new for Raider Fan Radio. We've had a Facebook page in the past, but for recently...
It's still there.
And it's still there. But recently, one of our longtime friends from the olden days, who's a young man who's been grown up to a fine young gentleman, and also a big fan of our show.
We've been mentioning him on this show.
And we talk about Raider Art all the time. He has his own show, Raider Arts Show, which I think is the coolest name, Raider Arts Show.
Right.
And he's been supporting Raider Fan Radio since the beginning. And anyway, so recently Raider Art, on his own, but with our blessing and permission and actually our encouragement, built us a Facebook page.
Yeah, a new one.
He did it. He just did it. And it's got great photos.
It really does.
He posts old shows. Have you seen the page?
I have seen the page, and I am so my heart I can't even begin to tell you how thankful and how honored I am that you put that together for us. And it's beautiful, more beautiful than anything that we've had representing us. You know, and this is bringing us literally bringing us into the future. You have pictures that I haven't seen, you know, in 20 years.
Me too, and I'm an archivist.
Right.
You know that, and
Raider Arts, like, he goes out on the internet.
He finds everything.
things.
And that's the thing. It's like, where? Because good night, you are possibly a candidate to work for the FBI, or I don't know.
Raider Art is on the case.
Go into the private investigation business, because And the other thing too, Art, is that you expressing your creativity all these years, being around this Raider thing, the way that you recalled and the way that you assumed your Raider Art persona, and like I said, from being a young kid around all of us and watching us grow up, and you were right behind us, and we watched you grow up in the Raider Nation, you really got it growing up. You really did.
Yeah.
You really got it. You absorbed all that you were around, and you are a singular manifestation of all of what we were.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In Oakland, just in yourself. And you are the type of fan that's going to keep that old lineage alive. So we're pushing for you. Raider Art's going to be a guest on the show too here soon. We were supposed to have him tonight, but we're trying to get this thing out for the season preview. So we'll have him on in a future show. But please support Raider Art on YouTube. It's Raider Art's show on the YouTube channel that he has, and then our Facebook new page is what?
Our Facebook new page, just to add to what you were just saying, that Facebook page, it is a really great accumulation of photos. He posts our show, he keeps it updated and all those things. And it's like you said, it's better than anything we've ever put out ourselves. Yeah. We finally got someone working for us.
Finally!
I told you, Rob.
Yes.
Thank you, Raider Art. So with all that being said, all of you that want to communicate with us here on the show, in general, of course, you got the comments here on YouTube, but now you can join and like our Facebook page and it will be on the screen.
That's right.
Facebook.com/RaiderFanRadio.Vegas.
Yes, baby.
And he figured that out on his own, too.
He was like, there's Raider Fan Radio Oakland, and now there's Raider Fan Radio Vegas.
He also sees that we're building a site. So it's like he's like seeing the future as it goes, and it comes and goes too. So
he's anticipating like a great linebacker. He's anticipating what we're going to do next.
And he's not just tootling himself there. He's over at our Instagram page too, which is at RaiderFanRadio.Vegas. And we just love everything that you're doing and what you've been producing for us. So we always want to give you a shout out for sending those archive photos and for being such a great contributor to Raider Fan Radio over a course of 20 years.
Yes, thank you, Art. Thank you so much.
Now there is, with all this talk of music and
Music.
musicians and their Facebook page. There's an actual game coming up here. It's the first ever
Oh, yeah.
regular season home game at the Death Star in front of fans.
Yes.
They hope to be a full house.
Yes.
It sounds like it will be. But the bottom line is it will
And
be.
you know that the great Axl Rose was just here.
Oh, yeah, the Guns N' Roses just
Yes.
played at the Death Star.
And speaking of the Death Star, Mr. Rose, who doesn't talk much, doesn't do interviews, and not a lot of on-stage banter either, took time out to stop and look at the nice surroundings that he was in, and he made the quip to the fans that, nice place you have here. Who's your decorator?
Al Davis.
Al Davis, the Raider fans, the Raider Nation, anybody who works for the Raiders.
So, you know, the place is cracking, man, and the Stones are coming. Garth Brooks set it off. UNLV will be playing there tomorrow, Thursday against Eastern Carolina. They open their season up, and so, Eastern Washington. They open their season up against them at the Death Star, and then, you know, we said Guns N' Roses, that great classic rock band, was just here too. So it's going down. Stone's going to play there one day. That's what Stonerdude and one of his bands are going to play there.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, just a little insight. When I saw the torch on the first preseason game, and I saw that Carlos Santana, who we talked in depth about last show on show number 24,
right.
and he was playing there on stage, I was thinking to myself, not with envy, not with jealousy.
Right.
He's warming it up for me.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's what's
It will
up.
That's
happen.
the winning mentality, baby.
They just don't know it yet, but it's going to happen.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
But the Death Star is now open for business, and this is a great segment to talk about business because now it involves not only football and the fact that they're opening up the games, but now if you want to go to the game, the official word is, and I'm sure most of you know by now, but it's something we need to talk about, that if you want to go to a Raider game, if you're a Raider fan, you want to go to the Raider game this year, this is Mark Davis that laid it down.
Mark Davis.
Right, the owner of the Raiders, that you have to be vaccinated and you have to have a vaccine passport or app on your phone.
The Scarlet V.
So, curiouser and curiouser how things have now come to this moment in time. Only the Raiders and the Saints, which is strange to me. These two teams, out of all the teams, not even LA is doing this. But you have to.
Not even New York.
Yeah, exactly. Not even New York.
Fucking rats.
It's totally really just the Raiders. They are not requiring vaccines in New Orleans. They're saying you bring your card or a negative test within 72 hours and you can come in. So they're just like, get tested, show proof that you don't have it, and you can come in. But here,
one way and one way only.
Yeah.
The app on the phone. And to me,
You motherfuckers gonna app yourselves to death.
that's what I'm saying, man.
Right.
App yourself to death.
Gonna app
man.
yourselves to death, man. No comment. Because
Well-
I'm not going. Wasn't planning on going. I'll be hopefully making a legal tender on those days with my establishment that'll be open on Sundays. But, I mean, you know, I came here in 14, so I had left that behind. My days of going to see the Raiders were pretty much done for a minute, particularly until they get a new fucking quarterback. Cashless,
Talk more
you
about
lose me there. So it ain't even about a vaccine.
You have to get a vaccine
Yeah.
and you're cashless.
Yeah, I'm good.
and wait, they're going to give you a vaccine at the stadium.
Oh, really?
So if you can show up there,
The Raider doctors?
the Raider, whoever,
Or some motherfuckers from Walgreens?
if you can get it at McDonald's, then you can certainly get it at Allegiant Stadium, courtesy of Mr. Mark Davis. He thinks this is a great idea, and he's going to implement it against the rules of what everybody else is doing right now. Even a rookie, one of the ones we talked about last week, Malcolm Kuntz, his father, is not going to be able to attend the game. He has, other medical conditions. and he-
Pre-existing type conditions here.
Right.
Bottom line, you ain't getting it.
He said to get where he's at now, and for the powers that be to say we can't be there, says Jeffrey Kuntz, I can't get it, the vaccine. So I should be able to get a proper letter from doctors and that I can't have a vaccine, and I don't see why I can't be like the under 12-year-olds if I test negative and wear a mask and come to see my son play. He said this is a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and it is a federal violation. I mean, they are violating in that way because medical conditions are private for one thing, and you can't force, medical practice on people so far. So he said you just can't do that. That's discrimination.
They forced the pussycat girls on everybody.
The what?
The pussycat dolls. They forced them on everybody.
And now we all know about the pussycat dolls.
They forced NSYNC on us.
Yep.
It's just to have to be in
Boys
this
to men.
as a Raider
Color me
fan.
bad, right?
Look at what we're known for now.
You're being
compared
spoon-fed.
Pumpkin
Bullshit.
spice. They're force feeding you pumpkin spice.
Spoon-fed your bullshit.
Compared to this guy right there, that would I find it highly unlikely that Mr. Al Davis would have enforced some kind of social rule. And it's like, Mark Davis, if anybody gets injured from taking the vaccine, are you going to pay their medical bills? I mean, have you thought about that? So outside of that, I just really hope that, just the cashlessness, the keeping of fans out and segregating fans based on medical status is not a good look for the Las Vegas Raiders.
The whole deal with Mark Davis and making that announcement, it's just indicative of just the whole big picture of where we are, though. And you said that how Al Davis wouldn't do this.
I don't see it.
Now, Al Davis, first of all, would never get a $2 billion stadium, and they made sure of that, and he had to die first before that happened. So that's true. And he was the maverick of the NFL, and he stood for everybody in equality. I believe Mark Davis, from my point of view and my perspective, is pressured with this brand new stadium by the governor and the local governments who go up the higher ladder of the higher governments. So it's a big decision from on top.
Oh yeah, but there's
that's trickled down to the Raiders.
But there's no other mandate.
Yeah.
For anybody else.
So why are you?
That's what I'm saying.
The Knights are out of season right now, but they're not requiring it. The Aces aren't requiring it, which Mark Davis.
They're using the Raiders as the testing ground to make this shit happen.
Well, we need to quit being the test dummy for shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Rather, it's helping teams become elite like the Broncos and the Patriots and the Buccaneers over the last 25 years, or participating in this type of shit. Again, I'm an American. I believe in one of our old adages, which is, freedom, and everybody has the right to their choice of what they want to do. I have no problem wearing a mask, man, but I don't trust my government, and I'm not getting a shot, and that's the bottom line. And if you don't like it, stay the fuck away from me, but that's what time it is. I have no problem with that. I have no problem missing your shows. I don't need to be in your lobster halls eating. Where's it? San Antonio somewhere now? Hawaii. Requiring that you have to have a vaccination card to eat in restaurants in Hawaii right now.
San Francisco's been at it for a long time with my good old friend London Breed. She's making sure that people can't go to their restaurants without their cards. But quietly, a lot of organizations are coming out of the sheriff's department, police departments all around the United States are saying, hey, we're not accepting this. This is not something that's been tested. We still have till 2023 for the trials to complete. And you're just not going to tell me what to do with my body. Just simple as that. So I can have an abortion, but I can't, but I have to have a vaccine. But it just doesn't make any sense. I don't want you in my medical business. And I want freedom of choice for all. So yeah, thankfully, we came up in a time where we were able to participate in these things freely. And so now we'll have our own shows and our own concerts in our own backyards or something like that.
To kind of add to the whole fact that I think that ultimately the Raider Stadium is being used as a testing ground, guinea pig, big room for this whole new
World
vaccine
order
agenda that's going on right now. And I think we all see clearly, we see what's in front of us. We know what we know. We think what we think. And Raiders are now, like you said, it's funneling down. Yeah. But aside from that, back to the fact that you brought up the fact that they're cashless now, which is another reason that we've been now for a year since we've known about it, talking against it because we use cash. You know, we're regular people that use cash.
Yeah.
Some guy off the street can't just walk in and go to a game.
It's a dumb business move.
It's funneling into a new type of fan that they're trying to create.
Yeah.
Well, this one is a dumb move because it goes against the best interest of your business, and particularly in Las Vegas, where all money's welcome.
Right.
Okay.
All
so
denominations.
all money in any form is welcome, and cash is
king
here in Vegas because let's stop it. Everybody's big shotting, and what makes you feel like a big shot other than pulling out a knot of cash money? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Peeling it.
And peeling off hundreds or whatever.
Stacks.
You feel me? Impulse buys.
How could you have stacks if there's no snacks?
Impulse buys. You know that thing you do at the checkout stand? Impulse buys. You're cutting that market.
Right.
You know, the casual fan that's there, you know, to take in the vibe of the stadium may not even be a Raider fan or what have you, but is there for the entertainment, you know, and there for the experience. You're pricing that person out. They might want to drop some cash and buy your shirt all of a sudden.
Right.
You know, anything like that. But to go through this whole, I mean, you've already had these damn machines break down 3 times in 3 previous events.
And wait, that's the big point of it all.
This digital machine shit.
Right.
With all this cross-sectioning in these banks and cross-wiring, everybody trying to get, you know, cash on their cards and whatever. Crashing the system.
And then they couldn't sell anything.
So you missed out on money.
They couldn't even they missed out on money.
Stupid.
The cashless system.
Who's your president?
No, the cashless
you got rid of
system
him.
broke down.
Because he's a crook.
And they weren't able, not only were they not able to take people's money, they ended up giving shit away for free.
Wow.
Because they already, you know, concessions and all that kind of, you know, it was sitting there. And it was also kind of almost a way of saying, "Hey, sorry, we can't take your money. Here's a hot dog."
We've been gone for a couple of weeks, and again, make sure you hit us at RaiderFanRadio@gmail with your comments, and also like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. But we've been gone for a minute, and since then, more information that came out surrounding Mark Bedane when he all of a sudden jumped ship.
That's right.
The IRS is on the Raiders' asses about financial irregularities.
Irregularities.
Better known as, AKA as, fraud.
Right. Fraud, stealing, which has been happening since Mr. Davis passed, which is what we knew. And so here we are, fast forward, Mark Bedane.
Didn't we tell you?
The CFO,
Stone
the
told you?
CEO, I
told
think
you.
somebody commented about
told
that.
you.
The controller, those are all the financial people had to step down because there is something big coming. And I know the Raiders have always been tight-lipped about what's gone on the inside because they kept that tight. Mr. Davis fraud? That's the last thing Mr. Davis would need on his record, and nobody had any of that going on until he's gone. Mark Davis is experienced in this business as Mr. Davis was. So the minute he was gone, Bedane moved in, all the other ones, Amy Trask, all of them, and started capitalizing even further and pushing those original staff members out. So I hope that the IRS finds everything they need with Mr. Bedane.
Find my money while you're at it too. Anyway, speaking of the Raiders, and Stone just saying a few moments ago about what's coming. Well, we know the season's coming. It is upon us. And Monday, September 13th, we will open the season at the Death Star, like someone was saying, against the Baltimore Ravens. And Lamar Jackson coming to town. And so it's going down. Las Vegas will be on the spotlight, worldwide, nationwide. And we lost to the Niners, though, which is unacceptable.
Even in preseason.
Of course. It's unacceptable anywhere. In the desert of Iraq and the fucking Yukon territory of Canada.
You're never supposed to lose to the 49ers.
We beat the Niners.
Not the Niners.
But more importantly, I just want to say, how you like your savior there, Carter Addicts? Look good, didn't it, this preseason? Standing on the sidelines, where his career will end, on the sideline somewhere, with a clipboard. You motherfuckers want to get in the face of me and talk that shit and defend that loser-ass bitch? He didn't even play all preseason. So what do you got? What do you got to look forward to? Huh? What is your last memory?
No starters played during the preseason.
Yes, they did.
What was your last memory
Tom
to take
Brady
into the new season with Derek Carr? Huh? His dick pull. His penis muscle pull. That's your memory. That's what you have going into 2021. Because you didn't play not one snap in preseason. Who is this motherfucker? Elton John or somebody? What the fuck's going on here? Why are we protecting this motherfucker? He's not top 10. He's not top 10. I showed you a list 3 weeks ago. There's a new list this week. He's still not on
A
it.
new top 10 list?
And he's
a
still
Raider
not-
Rob's top 10 list?
No, the NFL quarterback ranking.
Oh, he's not on that list.
He's not on that list.
But he's usually around 11, 12.
That's your savior?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Almost
5,
the middle.
6, 7, 8,
That's your
9,
savior?
11, 12.
Huh? That's who you believe in?
He didn't even show up to the game, right?
He didn't even go to the game in San Francisco because he was too scared he was going to have Oakland fans in the stand getting in his ass for him talking shit when he left the town sideways.
Yeah.
You know, let's stop with the bullshit with Derek Carr, man. Okay, a leader, a mediocre leader, okay, who's not a top 10 quarterback, needs to be putting in all the work he can get.
Yeah.
Okay? A leader needs to travel with his team. And this is the motherfucker that y'all riding with.
Yep.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Brady played. Josh Allen played. Kyler Murray played.
Lamar
Justin
Jackson
Herbert played. Baker Mayfield played.
They all played. Garoppolo played.
Garoppolo played.
Scored against us. Where were you? And the people that say, oh, it's just preseason, okay, but you have a job to do. You're making millions of dollars.
Wait a minute. Now, that's the coach's decision if he's going to put the quarterback on the field or not the field. So that's all on John Gruden. He played preseason the way he played it. He not only didn't play Derek Carr.
You know who else he plays drums for?
and
Stone
maybe
plays
the
drums for the spin doctors because he's spin doctoring right now. Okay? That's what he's doing.
You need all the snaps you can get, buddy. And you should have been there to take them. And yeah, John, you should have had them there, and you should have had him ready to play. And the excuse is he's at home getting ready for the season.
You get ready for the season on the field.
Let's think about that.
Just like Brady was getting ready for the season, and Josh Allen's getting ready for the season, and Patrick Mahomes played preseason. He doesn't take the game serious enough. That isn't even thing that the coaching staff should have to make a decision on. He should be overriding them. He should be telling them he wants to be out
Put me
there.
in, coach.
That's
Yes.
a fucking leader.
I want to play preseason football
This
against the
motherfucker's
Seattle Seahawks.
He's not an
Yes.
elite quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. And it ain't just preseason. That's why you'll be a mediocre fan base. Okay, until you get rid of this clown, because you are low expectation, low energy ass Raider fans. Okay, he needs to be playing. He's not accomplished. He hasn't won shit. The fuck out of here with Derek Carr. Got his nerve, and don't even travel with the team. And you want to be in everybody's face about he's the leader? That ain't no leader.
Not right.
That's like showing up, you know, on the Death Star and Darth Vader ain't there.
There's no Darth Vader on the Death Star? Yeah, that'd be fucked. A leaderless Death Star.
Man.
We're a leaderless offense. And Nathan Peterman, for the love of Christ, what the fuck are we doing, man?
Hey, that's our backup. And they're all running the same offense. You're not going to see anything differently.
Anyway, we open up against the
When we do
Ravens.
open.
And we're looking forward, as I say, I stick with what I said, 11-6. You know, Carr, whatever, I don't know, man. But the bottom line is there's some great pieces around him. It was great to see Chucky giving love and nods to Groshek, the Grosh, giving nods to some other players that we talked
Back
about.
alley
Dylan
Groshek.
Stoner, Stone last show brought up DJ Turner, and a couple other guys that we were mentioning.
Javin White, who's been getting a lot of run these days.
At linebacker?
As his
Yeah.
play. The 53-man roster did come out today.
Yes, it did.
And of course that
flashing
needs
that
to be
on the
changed
screen.
in the future still, because a lot of those players are going to probably end up on the practice squad.
Right.
But Javin White did, as far as I could see, made the actual roster. So even though he was injured, you know, there's some injured players right now like Nicholas Morrow Javin White. There was another one. I forgot the name right now. But the point being is that they made the roster. They're still in the depth chart. Some of the names that didn't get on the depth chart and did make the roster, I was surprised. Your boy Isaiah Johnson, who made the big play last year against the Chargers.
Yeah, but who got burnt this weekend a couple of times in Santa Clara.
And as of now, and what was the big one? Oh, the big one would be the safety.
Right. Man.
Carl Joseph again?
Carl Joseph again. Well, we said he wasn't. He brought him back. He left. He came. So he's traveling. He might be back again.
No, I think it goes, but I think it's indicative of his play too. The fact of the matter is that Cleveland let him go pretty easily, and the fact, and he came back to the Raiders just because of the familiarity with the franchise,
right?
To be an off-season signing to kind of help move things along.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that a lot of young kids came in and took his gig. Gillespie, at the safety position.
Right.
So,
right.
Dylan Stoner and Garrett Groshek did not make the team, but I predict that those two will somehow make the practice squad.
You fucking up, Chucky. Groshek needs to be on that team.
He needs to be.
Okay, I saw what you were doing. You tried to get him out in the flat on a play. You gave him the ball a couple of times. You're listening to old Rob. All right, bring him back. All right, stop with the bullshit. That tandem with him and Ingo will work.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So,
he's a tailback / fullback.
Yeah. What it really comes down to this year is Derek Carr elevating the receivers, Ruggs, Waller, all of those guys. Of course, my boy Renfro, a slot machine. They've got to really have their game elevated by the performance of their quarterback. It's got to be about really a forward progressive offense that is geared to highlighting this great receiving core that we have and that it can be, along with the mix of tight ends that we have. Right. I personally, like I always say, want to see an aggressive, want to see a physical offense as well as an aggressive physical defense. I'm impressed with our offensive line. I'm impressed too that even in preseason, not a lot of penalties, and that's where you usually get a precursor to the season when it comes to kind of discipline your team has. Defensively, still a tackling issue. There's still an angle issue. There's still an issue of being out of position and, missing reads. But I hope Gus Bradley will tighten all that up. And I'm optimistic about the year because the fans are going to be involved. You, the Raider Nation, are going to be inside the Death Star and propelling that team with your passion and the Las Vegas fans getting their first taste of professional football. I think there's a chance that we can have at least a hearty home field representation. I don't know how much of an advantage it will be because of the open market of tickets and, what the hotels are doing with deals for visiting fans. But my optimism for 2021, as the title will say, what's there to look for in 2021? A stable defense, comparable defense, a team defense with takeaways, a defense that plays the ball, plays the run well, and get to the quarterback. I want to see, like Stone has been wanting for years, the interior line on defense really be expressive, really be physical, and really be dominant. And then offensively, like I just said, Carr has to elevate the offense around him and all the pieces and weapons that he has, and Jacobs has to stay healthy.
All right. Well, they also need to do something else. You had mentioned that you didn't really hear, a hearty chant inside of the stadium.
Yeah, man, where's the Raiders chant, home team? Home crowd? Raiders! Remember me now?
Yeah, but that's because you aren't there.
Yeah, exactly. How could you have those chants and how could you have that energy if you don't have the specific fans?
Because they all know the song.
Right. And you're funneling it down, though, to the fans that don't do that. You not only have to be a passionate fan, but you have to be a passionate, vaccinated.
Oh no!
cashless fan.
Card carrying fan.
It'll be more like Raiders. Yeah. Wait, who's saying Raiders first?
Right.
Who's saying Raiders now?
Let's go down and see the DJ.
Yeah, there's just a game going on. We don't need to worry about that. There's a DJ. We're partying in the club by the end zone. Because that's what you do when someone scores a touchdown.
Right.
Yes, there's a lot of bitterness here at RaiderFan Radio when it comes to these new generation of what they're trying to fabricate for the Raiders and the Raider fans and the Raider Nation.
Fabrication. That's a
fabrication of the Raider Nation.
Well, looking forward to the season, and looking forward to, I'd say, like the fans being involved and what have you. And, Lamar Jackson, you want to keep him contained. We definitely need to have blitz packages and 8 in the box with him. Unfortunately, J.K. Dobbins, their promising young running back, is out for the season with a terrible injury over the last preseason game. But they have a decent receiving core. Again, their defense is going to be coming. They have a track record and understand their tradition against us, going back to the Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, and Ed Reed days. Okay, so, they know that.
Yeah. Defensive tackle.
Samoan. They know their, reputation and tradition against us. So they're going to be gunning. And Lamar Jackson is just, he's a rock star, man.
Top 10.
Top 10. Right.
Oh, damn.
Top 10.
So, great matchup for Monday night.
It will be exciting.
And what are you giving the Raiders this year for a record? What are you looking at?
I don't usually like to even think about records because
Yeah,
that means
we've
I'm
talked
putting.
about this.
I don't like predicting the Raiders record because I always want to say the highest and just stick with that because I live in a fantasy world. I drink the Raider Kool-Aid and I see the world through silver and black lenses.
Yes.
But I know this simple math. You want to make it into the playoffs or talk about the playoffs realistically in November into December, you have to win at least 11 games. Because there's going to be a lot of teams that are right around there. With the 17-game season and more games to play, you've got that one extra chance to maybe get into the playoffs.
Right.
And that's what it's going to take. And there's too many great teams in the AFC to begin with, so that's what the Raiders got to do. My feelings are, when it comes to the roster moves that they've made, the chess pieces that Mike Mayock's made over this offseason. Every year you're trying to win a Super Bowl. I don't think you're going in saying we need to just get into the playoffs or we need to get a winning record.
Right.
We have a brand new stadium.
Yes.
This is Chucky's, fifth year? Fourth year or fifth year?
Fourth.
Okay, fourth year. He's
$40 million.
He's almost at the middle of a 10-year contract.
Right.
So this is it. The show. This is it. The lights are on. This is Vegas. Everything you've wanted ever since you broke ground and got him here. So you got to win 11 games, Raiders, this year. If you want to get into the playoffs and win the Super Bowl.
What's your expectations?
My expectations are what I've said. I'm with Stone in terms of predictions and all of that. Not really interested. I just want the team to win and to be successful and to shine. And if Derek Carr can step up and be consistent, not just be concerned about his stats, but actually take it all the way through the season and not decline, then the Raiders have a chance of success. We all want their success, so let's get to it. They have a tough battle in the AFC, a tough battle in the league, but they're going to have to stand up and prove it.
Well, before all that happens, and when it comes to the game and everybody coming here to Las Vegas, and knowing that that's the expectation of where we're at right now here in Las Vegas, waiting for that first game to occur, be played, and have that big party for Monday Night Football. I have an announcement that RaiderHed, the world's only Raiders tribute band, and I'm not making my official announcement because I'm meeting tomorrow to have the discussions of the final pieces to put together. Okay. But there's a lot of parties going on here in Las Vegas the night before, Sunday, September 12th. RaiderHed will be making an announcement for a show that we're going to do. It's our first show in Las Vegas with RaiderHed. And go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, and we'll have all the information there. And we hope to see you when you do come to Las Vegas for the home opener.
Right on, RaiderHed.
That's what's up, RaiderHed
Shut
live,
up
baby.
and give me RaiderHed.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, we look forward to that, of course. And we also always look forward to this time in the show.
Which
it
is
time for comments on our show. Comments.
You can comment right here.
Stonerdude
RaiderFan Radio
will let
YouTube.
you know. Comments. comments.
Subscribe.
Everything
Comment.
you want to know.
We'll
is
read your comments
Comments
on the air at
from the
RaiderFan.
viewers of RaiderFan Radio.
So to start tonight's comments, first of all, we are averaging 24,000 views.
Wow.
per show.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
RaiderFan Radio is blowing up.
Oh, that's great.
And before you do that, so I just want to throw this out to you, you 24,000 or so. We want to consider doing a call-in and getting you guys more interactive. We used to do this, and of course, me and Stone, we were on, Sports Talk Radio back in the day and all that.
World's famous callers for 20 years.
But we want to get you folks involved a little more than just the comments. And so hit us this week in your comments and let us know, particularly some of our favorites and some of the regulars. And let us know if you'd be down for that, man. That, you can call in. We'll have a conference line opened up. And we'd like to hear from you, man. We want to get y'all more interactive. So that's something we're looking forward to wanting to do, all right?
So we're at 1,046 subscribers.
Wow.
Thank you.
It's growing. It's growing.
Mutating. You're
Like a
getting
weed.
infected by us.
So starting off our comments tonight, the great Raider Man. The world famous Raider Man.
Man. Da, da, da.
Always checking in here on the comment section. And of course, you can catch him on Facebook too. Raider Man, in regards to the discussion about president, which I thought was a fascinating discussion last week,
Good
of
discussion.
how Raider Rob thought who should be the president
Yeah.
of the Raiders. And he, of course, agrees with you that Charles would be a great president. He says, my president considerations, love Seawood, Tim Brown, Mr. Raider, that's always stood his ground, but diplomatic. And he said Louis Riddick, strong,
Oh, yeah,
intelligent,
I like Louis Riddick.
and respected.
Yeah.
Wow.
Louis
all
Riddick's
right.
another one out of that mold of Mike Mayock. Great football prognosticator, knows talent, has worked in the front office before as an executive, played the game, played for the Raiders. I remember when Louis Riddick played for us. He was a DB for us. And he comes from TV. So, that's always a great
Right.
qualification.
So Louis Riddick should be lucky that Raider Man gave him the huge plug here at RaiderFan Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Vegas. On the Raiders, Quentin Patrick says, yes, beautiful Black Hole Stef, it's not full-on Raider. As far as our discussions on why we're not the Raiders we used to be, it's not full-on Raider.
Right on. That makes
Because you guys got to get the chant. Raiders! Raiders! Start
Thank you,
there.
Quentin. We want the same thing. We want to see the greatness of the Raiders on the field.
And there was a couple individuals that also agreed with you about as far as Al Davis and the way things have worked out since then. Yeah, we have a $2 billion stadium. There's a lot to be thankful for right now. But there's always something that comes with that. And that's my point when I talked about the government and the governor earlier. All this after Al Davis passed. We
Yeah.
knew it, and we knew there were inside sharks.
Yeah.
And these are things I talked about back when Al Davis was in ill
Those are the
health.
worst sharks.
When
Inside
Al
shark.
was with ill health,
Right.
when we knew that the inevitable was going to occur. My words way back then were, the vultures are circling.
You did say
and
that.
the vultures never left. The vultures are still looking to pick off.
Oh,
some
one
carcass.
vulture did leave, though.
Oh, there you go.
Two vultures
But there's plenty of vultures left.
Yeah.
Plenty of.
Talking to you, Mark Bourdain, you bald vulture.
Mehmet Zia Kuskan. You have to wonder how soon Mark Davis will need to sell. Again, these are just comments that just happen to be relevant to some of the things
Well, he's
that
not
we're
wrong.
talking about.
There is financial issues, as we just said, going on.
Well, the IRS is coming to town.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Is that what you said earlier?
That is a possibility,
Well,
yeah.
that's a big deal.
Of the team being sold. Yeah, the IRS are sniffing around.
There you go. Shantae Lamson. Did Stone say about me, Philip Buchanan, Raider Nation? Well, I think she's talking about when I brought up Philip Buchanan and how we were trying to find players to replace Charles Woodson.
Right.
After he was gone, he was irreplaceable. And he's on that long list of failures. Yes. But unfortunately, I'll give him this. His rookie season,
Failure.
he made some dynamic
Capital S.
plays. And we went to the Super Bowl and lost, but we got to the Super Bowl that year. He was pretty much downhill ever since then. And one time Tim Brown, referring back to Raider Man, talking about Tim Brown, one of his famous quotes is about Philip Buchanan and this is Tim Brown saying, Philip Buchanan giveth and Philip Buchanan taketh away.
Wow.
That's the career of Philip Buchanan. So, Gracie Kirst talking about the show.
Right.
Remember last show we were talking about how we were the algorithm?
Remember?
The algorithm.
We are the algorithm.
Well, that's what Gracie Kirst says. Y'all are the algorithm. No doubt. Raider Fan Radio is the pulse.
Appreciate
Wow.
it.
That's
Thank you,
awesome.
Gracie.
That is awesome.
Appreciate that.
Right on, Gracie.
You know, we've had some shows recently where we talked about health and our futures and just kind of keeping the dream alive.
Yeah, we took shots on there.
At this age and time of our lives where we're still trying to, not trying, we're being relevant and enjoying and living. Well, Essen Oslim Urgin says, follow your dream, aim high, and dream the life you want to live.
All right.
So the message is getting out there in general.
Yes, right on.
Roscoe Sudler
They
says,
say it's urgent.
Roscoe Sudler, who is hip to our
That
discussion.
sounds like a stock car racer.
Roscoe Sudler. Yeah.
Roscoe Sudler in the car
baby.
42 coming around the upside.
Roscoe.
Behind Earnhardt.
A lot of our discussion when it comes to the agenda and all the things going on in the world right now. He says, check out They Live.
Oh,
Yeah.
Relevant.
Oh, yeah.
That's my movie.
We grew up on that one. Roddy Piper.
Obey.
The great
Yeah.
Chief David. Yes. Yes.
Don't
Consume.
think, consume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you see 1984.
That's a good movie.
Make sure you see 1984.
Okay, They Live. I got to talk about this because, first of all, yes, it's a great
Rowdy,
movie.
right.
Very relevant. Very relevant. You have to see it. I saw it when it came out at the theater.
Yeah, so did I.
Many years
Me
ago,
too.
late 80s or so.
Lizard.
Anyways, there's a scene between Rob Piper and is it Keith David?
It is
David.
Keith
It is
David,
Keith
baby.
David.
Yes.
There's a
That's
fight
crazy.
scene in the middle of the movie that just keeps going
Right.
and going and going in an alley, and they're beating the hell out of
Yep.
beating the shit out of each other, and it's like they just keep coming up for more. It's one of the most redundant, longest yet entertaining fight scenes in the history of movies.
For sure.
Go see They Live again for all its relevance. On the stadium and the vaccine passports.
All right.
Of course, there's many Raider fans who have very varying opinions about this. Very many are pro. They want the vaccine. I don't know many, but they're out there, obviously, because they bought the high-price tickets and they're going to go and get into the game. But Ali Paslu says, blood clots to attend an NFL game.
Wow. Yeah.
Machiko Polk says, I give my tickets back.
Wow.
My medical status is private. Wendy Gayhart says, join the experiment equals an NFL game attendance.
That's a slogan right there, Wendy.
Join the
experiment.
You gotta get that.
Wow.
Oh,
Join the experiment.
Courtesy of Wendy.
Okay.
Wendy Raider.
Wendy Gayhart, man.
Wow.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's it. That's
Can we call you Wendy Raider? Wendy Raider. I like
Raider.
Wendy Raider.
Raider says, join the experiment.
That's real talk.
We're
Wendy.
going to use that for the rest of the season as long as this experiment occurs.
Right.
For sure. That's awesome. Delbert Jacqueline says won't attend. Maja 67500 says won't be there. So you obviously got a lot of pissed off Raider fans.
And they are here in Vegas too. The early responses were mixed, but it's very slanted towards a lot of fans not happy with it, and some have begun to show up to return their season ticket to get refunds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're not going to tell you that, but here locally, yeah.
No, I had a ticket or an opportunity to get a ticket for opening day at Monday Night Football, and I don't wear this as a badge of honor necessarily. I'm more disappointed, but the fact of the matter is that I am not going to that game now because that I'm not vaccinated. Most of you have seen the show. I can come up with a million excuses like anybody else, but I've just decided it's not for me yet, or not at all, but that's my decision. And I did have COVID, and I feel like...
That's a good answer. It's not for me. I like that.
I feel
Not for me.
that with Black Hole
Choice.
Rob, obviously in ICU right now, there's so much concerns. I don't want to downplay the idea
No, of
that
course
people are getting sick, but the fact of the matter is that I have to say no. And I guess I'm one of those Raider fans that, because of the cashless society or the cashless stadium, because of the vaccination passport, I am, as much as I love the Raiders and I want to go to a game, I'm one of the first ones that's ostracized and kicked to the curb completely. They won't even take my money.
Right.
That's how bad it is. So
Yeah.
that's where it stands with some of the fans, like I said, and we'll see what happens. We're going to see how many of the vaccinated fans actually do step up and go out and sell out that stadium and have a home field advantage. It's on them. It's on them to do that.
Yeah.
Lastly, on the comments tonight, Raider Homer checks in. He had a lot to say, so
Raider Homer!
definitely go check out all of Raider Homer's comments here. And of course,
All of them?
all of them, exactly. I think there's 5 or 6.
Dope.
He's got a lot to say. So much to say, he has his own YouTube channel.
Did you say anything about Carr not playing in
Raider
preseason?
Homer
Huh?
The Raider Homer channel on YouTube. Go check him out. He's a friend of the show. We love him when he comes to town. We love to hang out. But he was arguing with Raider Rob once again.
You're not arguing with me, pal.
No, he is arguing.
You're arguing with yourself, cousin.
Or his statement is, when it comes to home games, on wearing black, it's Vegas. I'll wear white if I want to.
But you're in the black hole.
Wear your white.
He's not in the black hole.
All I know is this.
He's-
Raider Homer?
Raider Homer's the black hole.
There is no black hole. Black hole.
Oh, we got to talk about that, the black hole too. But the point being is that my just opinions on that is
Homer,
the Raiders
check
wear
again.
black, I wear black.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Black it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with a lot of you fans.
Right.
You just want to be contrary just to think you're proving some type of point or establishing some type of model of something that doesn't have any weight because we wear black at home
To
games.
home games.
And even those of you that wear white
Duh.
jerseys, you're out. Even those of you that wear
One of those Dole comments, dude.
even those of you that wear white jerseys, you're still outnumbered.
I did.
You're still outnumbered by the black jerseys.
Yeah.
So you're just being contrarian, for no reason.
Or fashionably different.
Fashionably different.
Only Mr. Davis.
Everyone's trying to
wears
come up
white.
with some new concept.
Where are you from, Vermont? Fashionably different.
Fashionably different.
Good night.
Now, Raider Homer, I know you're out there
Copyright
listening.
that. Call your lawyer Monday. Copyright that shit.
Definitely.
Because somebody will take it.
It's already copyrighted.
Fashionably
So,
different.
Raider Homer, I mean, think about it. If anything, you got the big yellow head.
Right.
So that's like your contrast.
Right.
That's your standout. That's your highlight marker.
Right.
But either way, we will love to see you at the games and hanging out in Vegas when you get here.
And I'm going to strip you out of that white shirt and put you in a black one, and you're going to love it.
Oh, damn. That sounds like
And I'll
a
be your
promise.
wet nurse.
Damn.
And then, Stone, I have a little slight correction there. It's 1,460.
Oh, yeah.
I just looked at it.
I don't even
I
know
was like,
how to
I
read
thought there was
numbers.
somebody. I thought it was way more than that.
1,406 subscribers.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
getting up there.
Nice.
We'll celebrate 2,000 coming up. I'm sure. I hope so. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please comment at RaiderFan Radio.
Well, that's the comment section. Raider Rob tonight is going to debut his concept for his new
Raider Rob.
segment.
It's called Fans Gon' Fan. And what that means,
Fans gonna
fans
Fan.
gonna
Got a
fan.
fan.
Yes.
like Raider Homer. He's fanning the way he's gonna fan, right?
Yeah. Raider Homer's gonna Raider Homer.
Right.
So he's gonna fan. Fan gon' fan.
Fans gonna
Okay.
fan.
Fans gonna fan.
And across the world, we have fans doing what they want to do. It's great to see you back. The signs are back. People are fighting, as we highlighted last show. The kids are back out there. You see the nice, cute pictures of, kids eating hot dogs and ice cream, and, people are catching foul balls, all that. Just the great passion and the great representation of sports fans is everywhere. And it's particularly last week at a place called Nice, France, in Liga.
Called what?
Yeah, where?
Nice, France.
Oh, Nice. Yes.
Nice, France, down on the Côte d'Azur.
It looks like nice. When you
Looks
look at
like
the
nice,
map.
yes.
It smelled like nice.
right down on the southern tip of France, right across from Monaco, where they had the Monaco Grand Prix.
When's the last time you went to France?
Huh?
When's the last time you went to France?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been to France.
But you know where it's at.
Yeah, I know where France is at.
Geographically
I'm geographically astute there, chum. Anyway.
Geographically astute.
They began the French Professional Soccer League, Liga 1, okay, and a rivalry that's much like ours against the Broncos between Nice, France, and Marseille jumped off. And in the first half, Nice fans threw a ball and a bottle at the star of Marseille, Depayet, okay, who then threw the bottle.
So you lost?
No, I'm just like they're throwing bottles and
Right.
stuff.
Well, he picked up the bottle, their star, okay, and threw it back at him.
What?
Into the crowd.
Player threw the bottle back into the crowd.
I love
Threw the bottle back into the crowd. Well, people in Nice, with all their fancy tea and cheese and all that shit, they didn't like that. And so they stormed, you'll see pictures here, onto the field.
What?
And went after the players. And when I say they stormed, I mean take the whole section of the black hole south end zone from the steps all the way over to say 107.
Wow.
And then all the way back to the top of the first section.
Almost half.
Came down onto the field, confronted the refs, confronted the Marseille
How
players.
did all those people confront at the same time?
You will see the pictures here, and if you go online on YouTube, look it up. And
Excuse me, sir, but I have a complaint. Oh, excuse me, sir, I'm second in line. I got something to say about that too.
The whole section, the whole stadium.
We are not happy with the proceedings so far. No, we want to know we come down to the field and tell you.
Fuck you. Fuck you for throwing a bottle at me.
You don't know bottle at
You
me.
don't fucking throw a bottle at me.
You want to throw something to me? You throw me a croissant. Okay.
They're going through it in France too. I
So anyway, the fans stormed on the field. They exercised their right to kick a motherfucker's ass.
All right.
And proceeded to get physical with a lot of the Marseille players. They had to be, of course, the field cleared. The police came onto and it's a small island, so they don't have a lot of cops.
Right, it's Nice.
Okay. And, yeah, that's what went down. Fans gonna fan. The fans of Nice, God bless them, they weren't having it. You threw a bottle at them, and they bought everybody, their grandmother, their cousins, their brothers, their neighbor, everybody came down. Season ticket holders, non-season ticket holders. Motherfuckers that was up at the top getting high, drinking red wine came down.
Oh yeah, when you see everybody going, I did that at the Monsters of Rock for Metallica at the LA Coliseum. Metallica comes on stage, first song, Creeping Death by Metallica at the sold-out Oakland Coliseum, 100,000 people. I was at the very top of the Oakland Coliseum. They hit that first chord, and the whole field was all paid-for seating. And everybody, the whole Coliseum, like you just said, just swarmed down onto this field. And I was at the top, and I just went with the flow. I was drunk. I was partying. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
And everybody just goes for it. So yeah, I'm not surprised these drunk motherfuckers at the top of the stadium came running down. Then I'll tell you this, I was 10th row dead center in the biggest mosh pit in the history of mosh pits. And then Metallica had to stop the concert after 2 songs until everybody to calm
down.
Sorry for all you people who paid a lot of money for your tickets up front, but now it's general admission.
Right.
Okay.
It was that situation.
Festival City.
That's the
Well,
party.
the last thing that you want mad at you is a bunch of fucking French soccer fans drunk on Pinot Noir. Okay?
Pinot Noir.
You know,
Fans gonna faint.
$1,000 rosé.
They're going to do what they do.
Yeah. They're going to do what they're going to do, and fans going
Right
to fan.
on,
And that's
France.
what went down with the fans. But before we get out of here, did you know, because I think I saw in the comments, or maybe I got an email.
Oh, yeah,
where
one of the
somebody
comments.
inquired about Fred Williams.
Oh yes, because the last show.
Yeah.
Number 24.
Yeah, there was a couple
Yeah.
of comments on Fred Williams. He's a
that's what it was, right.
very famous Raider / actor over the years and now an icon in the industry, Fred Williams, original Raider, number 24.
Number 24.
Number 24.
Sexy is all sexiness. And these ladies, I just want you to know that the 1973 edition of Playgirl magazine.
What year?
1973.
Woo! We're going way!
70s again, man.
Mr. Williams.
Gen X, baby! Gen X!
Was the centerfold.
Yeah. He sure
Yeah,
was.
baby.
Fred Williamson.
Fred Williamson in his prime.
The hammer.
The hammer in that tank.
Yes.
That was a big seller, too.
Yes.
I remember, that was a big seller, much like Burt Reynolds when he posed in it.
Definitely, for sure. It's a nice spread. This is one of 2 magazines
said
that I
spread.
have collected. And Jim Brown also has a Playgirl. I think his was 74.
Nobody want to see Jim Brown.
Well, the leather pants and 3 of the Hard Way was pretty good. But yes, thank you to the Hammer for doing that spread for us. Thank you.
Well, that's what's up. Oh.
Speaking of spread, that spreads this one wide open and puts a cap on it here at RaiderFan Radio tonight on RaiderFanRadio.Vegas. We're spread thin.
Your Las Vegas Raiders, September 13th against the Baltimore Ravens. Get what you're going to get. Make sure you send your comments in after the game and let us know so we can read them on that preceding show, that next show, following show, about what you think of the game and, your review of offense, defense, and what you think about the upcoming season. And yeah, that's what's up, man. We are looking forward to RaiderHed playing here live in Las Vegas.
Stay tuned to our Facebook page.
Yeah, so stay tuned to the Facebook page. And if you're here in Vegas, make sure you hit them up. And hit us up if you're here, man. We'll come out and have a drink with you. RaiderFanRadio@gmail. And yeah, let us know you in town.
RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com is where you can email us. Of course, you could comment, link, and subscribe, I think in that order.
Yes.
Or any way you want.
Hit the bell.
Any way you
Hit
want.
the bell.
Hit the
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. And until then, we'll see you at show number 26. Later, Raider.
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and RaiderFan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.